You might have heard that Yellowstone, the smash hit show about the Duttons and their ranch, is going to be coming to an end at the conclusion of Season 5. But that doesn't mean the Duttons are going away forever. There does in fact seem to be a sequel series that is well on the way to your screens very soon. Excited? You should be, because here's everything that we know about the Yellowstone sequel series. The facts. The first thing you should know is that the Yellowstone sequel series has been officially greenlit, and while fans may be saddened to know that Season 5 is coming to an end, you still have that to look forward to. The second thing you should know about the show is not such great news, because it means that you'll likely be waiting a while for this one to come out. It appears that the cast has not been officially announced as of yet, which usually means that there's either a lot of secrecy or a lot of indecision, which means that it's going to be a long time until the show comes out. The third bit of big news you may already be aware of is that Kevin Costner is not expected to return. A lot of this has to do with the fact that he is unsure as to how his character will be treated in the upcoming second half of Season 5, and because of that has not yet committed to anything at all. According to the sources, the scripts for Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 were actually written, at least so far, so that the story can play out with or even without Costner appearing in it. That would be very strange though, since he is basically playing the main character of the entire main story of Yellowstone, John Dutton. In any case, what happened with Yellowstone? What is the sequel series going to center on? When will it be set, and when will we get to see it? Let's check it out. Setting. As of yet, Paramount hasn't revealed very much information about the sequel show to the Yellowstone series, but some crucial information has been allowed to get through to the press. According to David Glacier, the CEO of 101 Studios, the Dutton story continues, picking up where Yellowstone leaves off in another epic tale. We are thrilled to bring this new journey to audiences around the world. So from that, we can absolutely infer that even if we don't know who will be starring in the sequel series or really much about the storyline, it is definitely a sequel, meaning it will be taking place after the events of Yellowstone, and that will indeed continue the story of the Dutton family. With that information, you can more or less work out who will be cast, unless it is set in the far future, which doesn't seem like it would fit the tone of the show. The news of the sequel show first emerged back in February 2023, when it was announced and Deadline reported that it was unclear which of the Yellowstone cast would continue over and on to the sequel series, but that it was expected to include several of the big stars. Of course, it looks unlikely that Kevin Costner will be joining, but the ensemble cast still leaves Wes Bentley, Kelly Riley, Luke Grimes, Cole Hauser, Kelsey Asbill, and Gil Birmingham to potentially be carried over into their continued roles. Premiere date? At the moment, it has been announced that the sequel series to Yellowstone will premiere in December 2023, first on the Paramount Network and then later on Paramount Plus. This means it would follow on very closely after Yellowstone's final episodes air in November of 2023. The only issue with this is the fact that we've already heard reports that the final Yellowstone episodes have not actually begun production yet. And with that, at the time of recording, a major writer strike threatening the entire existence of Hollywood, you should probably take these intended release dates with a punch of salt. After all, a show that hadn't been filmed and another show with the same characters that hasn't been cast yet, all supposed to hit the airwaves before the end of 2023, it seems pretty unlikely that this is going to actually happen anywhere near that intended schedule. It also seems to be fouling things up that Kevin Costner still isn't even confirmed to appear in the final Yellowstone episodes. There's a lot that could still cause havoc with the production and release of both Yellowstone's finale and its sequel. Kevin Costner quitting, in addition to the drama that has embroiled Yellowstone's production over the last few months, further confusion began when it was reported that the franchise's extension might even include Matthew McConaughey as the star. A network representative of Paramount said, "We have no news to report. Kevin Costner is a big part of Yellowstone, and we hope that's the case for a long time to come. Thanks to the brilliant mind of Taylor Sheridan, we are always working on the franchise expansions of this incredible world he he has built. Matthew McConaughey is a phenomenal talent with whom he'd love to partner. The lack of any concrete information was only compounded when it was revealed that the disagreements over shooting schedules was the major factor in Kevin Costner's issues over returning to the show. Deadline reported that Costner only wanted to shoot for 50 days for the first part of the current season, and only a week shooting the second part of season 5. This caused issues with the morale of the rest of the cast. Speaking on behalf of the actor, Costner's lawyer, Marty Singer, released a statement to Puck saying that the idea that Kevin was only willing to work 1 week on the second half of season 5 of Yellowstone is an absolute lie. It's ridiculous, and anyone suggesting it shouldn't be believed for 1 second. As everyone who knows anything about Kevin is well aware, he's incredibly passionate about the show and has always gone way above and beyond to ensure its success. Costner himself is setting up for a multi-year push into directing more features as well. His latest directorial project, Horizons, has already been filmed, and he is preparing to film 3 sequels to the first one after another. The second movie is set to start filming this spring. Of course, if he is still acting on Yellowstone, then that could delay the project. More projects? We all know about 1883, which saw the original Duttons trekking into Montana, but of course, there was also 1923, the show that premiered last December 2022 on Paramount Network and Plus in a special simulcast, with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren playing Jacob and Cara Dutton, respectively. The series followed on from 1883, with the Duttons dealing with all the challenges of the early 20th century, including pandemics, droughts, prohibition, and its ending in the Great Depression. There has been a lot of interest in a second showing from Ford and Mirren continuing their story, which would come to fruition sometime in the not-too-distant future. But another project seems to be taking precedent over everything besides the Yellowstone sequel, in something called 6666, or 4 Sixes. There's not really any certainty over what 4 Sixes will be because it is set to detail the raw and authentic perspective of an actual cattle ranch. This is a real ranch in Texas that was acquired by Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan. According to a source, the Sixes is one of the oldest ranches in Texas, one of the oldest ranches in the country, one of the oldest functioning cattle ranches, horse training, breeding facilities in the country. People should look forward to seeing a real, unglamorous look into the real-life world of cattle ranching in a modern era, which makes the show sound like it will be a documentary as opposed to a drama like Yellowstone. Matthew McConaughey has mentioned Paramount has stated an interest in working with Matthew McConaughey in a future Yellowstone-related project, but there has been no official announcement of any deal, besides the fact that the Oscar winner is apparently in negotiations with Paramount. Quite apart from all of that, though, if McConaughey were to be cast as a star of the Yellowstone sequel series, who would he play? He'd have to be a pretty important character, such as perhaps a long-lost Dutton who comes back into the play and perhaps wants to take the ranch. That would certainly help keep the Duttons' traditional drama alive and mix up the character interactions considerably. As of March, Viacom CBS president Chris McCarthy confirmed in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter that the rumored McConaughey spinoff was definitely moving forward, with or without Yellowstone star Kevin Costner. McCarthy wouldn't share any details, but he did say that the Yellowstone franchise wouldn't be what it is today without Kevin, and we hope that that stays for a long time to come. Back in May, Paramount announced that Paramount Plus had officially ordered another Yellowstone sequel, but did not at the time specify whether it would be the McConaughey project or not. The project also appears to still be untitled, which suggests it could still be a very long way off. But what is known is that it is slated to go onto Paramount Plus, which would then make it the first series in the franchise to be released directly to the streaming service instead of network television. With all these rumors and speculation, what do you think?